just very frustrating.
The other thing you brought up, the grants, I mean, on the dollar number of the cost, there's, and maybe educate me a little bit, but of all these numbers, is there any grant money that comes associated with this at all? Or
Well, you know, we apply, these are
we applying, or
we apply every year, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. We had a grant to do like one of these, we've already got a grant to, and we anticipate applying for grants for numerous.
The thing is with the grants, I was able to get, like, I'll give you an example, the Riverside, that grant money I got 2 years ago, or got approved for it, was awarded. We just got reimbursed this last week, right, Mary? 157,000? 155,000 from them. You know, we completed the project, what, six months ago?
Well, but we haven't completed a project.
Yeah, well, that section, yeah, that's a partial.
But we're funded
So what,
about another 100,000.
we're always looking at grant money, whether it be state, federal.
You gotta understand grants come with, especially federal grants come with a huge overhead, 30%. We can do stuff consistently for 30% cheaper if we don't have the grant.
Now, if you all.
So we try to do in kind. In other words, we provide our labor and our equipment, and they provide the materials. Is the way it's working. Those have been the most
but
cost
we haven't
effective.
seen this right now, and maybe I'm wrong, is you're projecting your budgeting like it's out of our pocket. It's gonna be hard cost that's out of our pocket.
No,
taxpayers.
none of this is, but this is just a 5-year plan, and
I understand it,
forward. But we're gonna, when we go to the 1 year, you're gonna see where we move money to reimbursable, and you see the grants, and you'll see all.
Okay.
So as we move it out of the 5-year into the budget, then all that stuff shows up, which is the next Mary's gonna do.
All right, that was my next question. So it's like money in the bank, like, forget about it, then we'll just get it eventually someday.
No, it's, so she'll show you, unfortunately, we don't have for the big one, then what it tells us is what we need to do is if the board approves, you know, this is just a target. If we approve it, at least gives us priorities to go and apply for grants, because typically it takes a year from applying to
But,
getting an
right,
award.
if you never prime the pump, you're never gonna get the ball rolling.
Right, exactly. So we have to have.
Money we have to put in here so we can start, the 5-year plan is gonna turn into the 10-year plan, it's gonna continue to perpetuate. But
That's the way it always has. It's always
we
become.
can't stop. If you stop for a number of years, then it dries up, and then you have to start all over again. You have
Right.
to dump a lot of money into it. So.
But you have to have the project sufficiently developed with drawings and other things to be able to get the money, at least for these type of construction ones, which is
Now,
an expense in itself.
yeah. Now, there's money available right now from Texas Water Development Board for loans, but you all have never wanted to seek a loan. I mean, we could go seek. Look,
You know,
look, I'll give you an example. El Paso Water Utilities just got $50 million to go buy farmland in Del City. And, you know,
why is that? Why don't
we-
we ever, I mean, I'm not asking for a big one, but.
Well,
don't we
we're
ever-
a different type of taxation, I've given
Right.
Jim.
We've never had what you would call bonded indebtedness.
Okay,
Since we took over from the Bureau,
okay,
and on our financial statements
okay.
that we file with TCEQ, they're clean statements.
Right.
Yeah, if you're gonna have what amounts to bond issues, you're gonna have to start holding elections.
We're already going to elections anyway.
No, special
Oh, no.
elections,
Oh,
for tax elections.
tax it.
So you have to have the, there's a couple, it's complicated, okay? We've done this with Hudspeth, and nobody's here from Hudspeth. And so I know how to do it, and Phil knows how to do it. We've done several bonds in Hudspeth, right? And the difficulty with it is that we've come to the determination, there's 2 types, revenue bond, which if we were charging, we might be able to qualify for that, but it's really a little bit complicated, sort of beyond expensive. But the normal one would be just, like you said, a bond indebtedness one, which the water code anticipates. That requires an election. We've never felt, we had an election once in 1921, right? And for a huge bond, and we paid the bond off in 1978, so from 21 to 78, we were under heavy debt and paid off. Some of it was forgiven for various agreements and other things. I think we did another one on the lateral linings, didn't we?
American Canal?
I'm looking at art like you're saying, what?
I don't know. American Canal, I'm assuming you did that?
No, American Canal was different. That was the days of earmarks and 100% funding of projects.
Oh,
So
really?
we worked a deal. We had a local cost share of $5 million on that, and the city paid for that for exchange of conserved water. And so we did that through contracts. So we never had to indebt the district. we've never had any debt since 1978, and the only debt we had prior to that was for federal reclamation related project. But, so we could have an election and we could borrow the money at the low interest rates, but we would have to have the election. Nobody's ever felt that we could ever pass the election.
We never tried though. Have we tried?
I've never tried. I've never been a board that would support having an election.
Yeah, in general, Mike, none of us on the board feel at the moment if we can fund ourselves, we'd rather do that.
Even if it's cheap money though? Maybe it's even.
You gotta pay it back.
But like Al said, it's more complicated than that, and you do have to have an election, a bond election, just
You
like
have to have
the
Bond
school
lawyer.
boards do, you know,
Right.
they have these big bond elections.
Phil could talk, the one that we did from the agricultural,
Reservoirs.
yeah, that drove us crazy, didn't it?
Down in Husband, you know, when you
Yeah.
built that third reservoir down there.
We
And
kinda
expanded.
went hand in hand to the EPCWID and said, told them, asked them to help us. And they did an admirable job there, and we managed to get that through without bond council, but that was because it was a fairly small amount. and they-
Yeah, we've already paid off the first bond and then
Yeah,
refinancing that bond
right.
at a lower interest rate.
So
Well,
basically,
Never,
it was on
we're
that.
not, never saying, never, Mike.
yeah, the typical fee that we were facing was when that was a refinancing of a bond, and we were able to get it through an agricultural loan, a special loan that had been set up like these for agriculture. And my recollection was just to get the bond attorney to review it, and so we could start the paperwork to go for the application was $35,000, something like that they wanted.
I don't think it was nearly that much.
Oh, was it? I thought that's why we didn't do it that way, we went the other way. We got those bond guys from, anyways, it's
Well, I mean, I was saying, it's on the table, something to look at, does it make sense, doesn't make sense, but
Oh, well,
like
Somewhere down the line,
somewhere
yeah.
down the line, we don't wanna just.
So everything that we've done, or we've been successful in doing, has been grant money, like Partidor, that was $2.2 million now?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I thought that was, but it was everything, but we only got 600,000 reimbursable of it.
Yeah.
We have to, almost all those grants have a upfront cost,
Mhm.
say 10%, you're gonna put into it to get it done. And then they're gonna have a 50-50 matching. And then you're gonna have, you gotta remember that the minute you bring NEPA, federal money involved, and NEPA gets involved, that my estimates on our projects, that the costs go up overall, from us being able to do it with internal money, to having federal grant money. State grant money's not as bad, it's still got problems, is about 30%. I know that seems like a lot, but you lived through that process, Jay's lived through that process of continual daily phone calls and reports and backup and fights over change orders, and it just.
Okay, so you look to it, and there's a benefit to that thing, or a cost.
Right.
What is, at the end of the day, was it a benefit, or was it?
There was a benefit on part of
biggest,
it.
waste of time? or
No, we did Partidor, we did Wasteway
It was a
1.
big enough, in other words, if you get a big enough price ticket, it becomes a benefit, and on little ones, I don't think it is.
Well,
You're
the
over-
question is, it's not ever gonna be profitable. You don't gain
No.
financially.
On the
The
bond.
question is, what are you gonna do with your tax assessments, for your benefit basis and your and your water assessment fee? Because that's where the ripple is. So if you add any expense, the only way it's gonna be recovered is by either water assessment or benefit basis tax.
Right, so that means we actually designated a special category, which the water code allows you to do, it's just to keep track of it financially. Effectively, the same thing, you have a special assessment, so they can see it on their bill, that you're paying so much for your regular assessment, so much for your water delivery fee, and then for your bond, there's a special assessment.
We set up an interest in sinking fund.
Yeah.
Which is basically so the farmer down in Husband, he knew how much of that, back when they did that, I was farming down in Husband, so you can see on your bill exactly.
How much you're paying for the reservoir.
We put in a new reservoir and we expanded another one, actually, we expanded both fields.
Right, well, put in 2 reservoirs and clean one.
Expanded one.
Needs to be- All 3 need to be cleaned out.
Yeah, again. Well,
That's the way it goes.
now, Al, on your total figure here though, just because of the weird little glitch up at the top, it's not quite as bad as it looks there. We're not talking 24.
It should have reflected when I changed it, it should have rolled through the whole thing.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, I just corrected, I just had the number per year wrong on it.
Well, see, what I understand is,
So that's that,
you're not being asked to approve a budget.
No, we're just
Just,
informing.
it's really part of your engineer's report.
Correct.
right, it's just,
But I just
the
still
board
think it's
requested this.
overstated. I don't think it's the 24 or the 30.
What's the 32? That's as if we were to have over 5 years, at roughly
Right.
6 million a
But
year.
go all the way-
If we were to get a third party to contract that, the number to the right is what the actual budgetary numbers are.
Right.
Since we're using our own equipment that's already capitalized, and we're using our own employees, which are accounted for under a separate item in the budget, what we're left with is what we would have to write checks for, so that 32 becomes closer to 10. And I think those do reflect the corrections on.
Well, I think the right column's right. I think your one right next to, I think that 32, if you go all the way up to the top, Al, I don't think we corrected all that 5 years stuff.
It should have just rolled in, but
Well, I don't think we corrected all. I think we corrected one line.
I thought I got all of them.
Let me look. Okay, the wasteway is 100 to 250, 375, 150, and all right, the very, okay,
See, that one.
number 6, yeah, that one needs to change.
No, that one is, it's 1.55 million a year times 5 years.
Oh, every year.
Every year, yeah, that's what
So
EY.
you didn't need to correct that one. Okay.
It's correct. I think
Then you
they're-
did catch it.
Yeah, I
Okay.
did, sorry about putting.
You
them-
ran it all the way through, okay.
Yeah, it should have automatically rolled
Okay.
down. So it's total with the, this is,
Well,
like
now
I
you're
said.
back to give me a heart attack again, 32 million, but, okay.
Yeah, but
You know,
32
we're
million,
spending
what
10.
that reflects is what, that would be if we went out and had somebody
Complete.
build all these
Okay.
projects.
If you hired a contractor.
The 10 million is more
The
reasonable.
10 million is what we'll budget for, as we'll have to have money for materials, for concrete, for grade control, for telemetry, hardware, for everything that, for renting equipment, small tools, things on the job. Mainly, I'd say if we were to pick one thing, it's probably shotcrete, right?
Right.
For hauling, cleaning out the Franklin, most of our money there is spent on hauling the dirt away.
Okay.
It's on
Well, I like
transportation.
that, that's doable, I think.
Yeah, that's 2 million a year is what it comes up to be. If we, and we're supposed to generate additional revenues to cover it, but we'll talk about that in the budget on the next thing. So this is just, I think the board requested this, we worked really hard on it, it's a moving target, as Miguel said. We've got things in here we can see that are applicable to grants, and, we just depend. And then real life is gonna overtake all this, and we're gonna get a damage from a flood or something, or some geotechnical issue's gonna come up, and we're gonna have to reprioritize. But at least we've got a 5-year plan that we can go back to and say, did we ever get that accomplished? And why didn't we do that? And so it helps. So we'll move forward with that, and the next one is the budget, so I get to turn over to
Number
Mike.
6, so now we go to the budget. So that's a proposed 5-year capital project.
I don't think they even need a resolution or anything.
No, I think that's good. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the work y'all did on it.
Good job.
And we tried to distribute it, through the 5 years as best we could evenly, so at the same time setting priorities.
All right, budget.
First page.
Did I
is
put
just-
Mary on the hot seat? Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
it's just, it summarizes our revenue and expenses, our balance as of August 29th, and what we expect to end as of October 31st, 2017. There's just a slight correction on row 12. It should read August 29th, 2016, instead of July 31st. With leaving the rates the same, land at $25 an acre foot and water at 20. We do anticipate an increase in water this year. So as of August 31st, 2016, row 14, our ending balance would be $6,277,000. Our ending balance as of last year, October 31st, 2015, was $8,313,726. A difference in $2,036,720.
And further back.
I didn't hear you scream.
wireless.
Yeah, she wants it.
Mary, can you explain 14 again?
Don't we have to wait for articles? Mr. Budget?
Okay.
I'm gonna wait a copy.
Yeah. It's a workshop, so it can be a little less formal. We're better not talk about the budget without you there.
Everybody took a break, everybody, okay, I just had to run real quick. Too much coffee this morning. All right,
Let the record show that the acting chairman drank too much coffee.
too much coffee this morning. I didn't have to start before, I always had that good coffee by 6:30.
Take a little break.
I had a second one, yeah, everybody take a break.
I can make coffee at home, though, this morning, so all I've had is here. This is
Well,
pretty
see,
good.
well, I had my 6:30 and then I had 7:30. Kicked my kidneys into overdrive.
Do you know how to turn off the camera?
Pressure's not that hard.
Might not be able to turn it back on, but.
Budget, sorry, Mary.
Okay.
Turn it off the same